you're struggling. You can't seem to get rid of the belly fat no matter what you do, no matter how little you eat. You're working out 3, 4 times a week. It just seems like you're gaining belly fat as opposed to losing it. And it's frustrating, right? This is something that I see a lot. And of course, a lot of you comment about on Instagram. And the women who come to work with me in my Thrive program, which starts in a few weeks, click the link below to join. The number one thing they complain about is the belly fat. And it happens for a few reasons. I'll talk about that in another video. But I'm going to tell you 5 reasons, 5 things that's going on that is stopping you from getting rid of the belly fat. It's not just these 5 things, but these could be 5 of them, because the truth is at this stage, there's so many moving parts that's stopping it. And it really irks me when people are like, oh, if you want to lose belly fat, if you want to get rid of belly fat, have less calories than what goes out. You know, that calorie in, calorie out verbiage, it does not work at this stage. So one of the main reasons you may not be getting rid of belly fat with the amount of workouts you're doing at this stage is your workouts may be too intense. Now, of course, this worked 20 years ago. It may have even worked 10 years ago. And if you do any Google searches or if you follow any of your favorite influencers, fitness influencers, this is what they're telling you to do. That's fine and dandy in your 20s and maybe your 30s, boo. But after 40, it's not that easy, because if all your workouts are intense, if all your workouts are high intensity interval training, which a lot of you have the boutique gyms that specialize in them. I won't call their names, but there's 2 that comes to mind. What happens is when all your workouts are too intense, your cortisol level stays high. So we're already, a lot of us have a stressful life, dealing with traffic, the amount of things that we have to do. So our cortisol level is already high. And then we go ahead and add all these intense workouts. It keeps your cortisol level high. Cortisol is the stress hormone. If that level stays high, if that remains high, if that level is consistently high, you will not, and I repeat, you will not get rid of belly fat, right? So even if you love high intensity interval training, I would suggest maybe 2 days a week. As a matter of fact, if you're doing high intensity interval training currently and you notice you're not seeing any results, stop doing them. Instead, start going for walks. I know you may think that walks are useless, but they're very, very helpful if your cortisol level is high, right? So if you're doing all these high intensity interval training and you see the belly fat coming on as opposed to coming off, cut them out completely. Cut them out, girl, and just walk. The second reason you may not be seeing results is, what's your why? I know you're like, girl, where are you going with this? Let me tell you something. Your why needs to be crystal clear. Your why needs to be clear and important to you. Because if your why is not clear, the days when you don't feel like working out, the days when you don't feel like moving your body, the weeks when you don't feel like preparing your meals, you're not going to. But when your why is specific and important to you, you are going to make it happen. You're going to go for that walk. You're going to hit the weights. You are going to make time to schedule your workouts. You're going to plan your meals. You're going to prepare your meals because your why is clear and important to you. I say that because if your why is kind of murky, it's kind of muddy, it's not important to you, you're going to fall off real quick. Your why doesn't have to make sense to anyone else, not even to your spouse. And I say that because I have worked with a lot of women, and I currently have a woman right now that I'm working with, one of my clients, where when we started 6 weeks ago, her husband was not supportive of it, but it was important to her. 6 weeks later, he's seeing the difference in her physically, mentally, and emotionally. And now he's completely on board because, happy wife, happy life. He sees how much more she's happier, right? And once you're happy in one aspect of your life or happy with you, it definitely translates to the other aspects of your life. When we started working together, her why was, I do not want to be on medication. I am 42, diabetes, high cholesterol. There was a bunch of health issues that that runs in her family, and she's like, I am being proactive so I don't end up here. So for hers, it was literally her health. I have another client where her doctor told her, you need not you probably should, you need to lose 45 pounds over the next 6 months, or else you're going to have serious health problems. And then I have women that I'm working with in my Thrive program, Transform, Thrive, and Glow Through Perimenopause. Click below to schedule your call, where it for them is, I don't like the fat around my stomach. I've never had it before. I don't feel sexy. Whatever your reason is, you need to find that reason, and you need to make sure that reason is crystal clear. You need to make sure that reason is important to you and that reason matters to you, so you can power through. Another reason is you lack patience, baby. And I know that one can be so hard when so many people on social media sharing their before and after, how much weight they've lost in the 14 days or stuff like that. Truth be told, I'm personally not an advocate of before and after, and I rarely ever share them with the public. My clients do share them in the program, but I rarely share them publicly, for a few reasons. Okay, I get it. Some people, it can help them, it can motivate them. But what I've also found is it gives kind of like an unclear picture, because, okay, the before, but after what? Because it's a journey. It's a journey you're always on, right? You never actually get there. It is a journey, and you have to continuously do the work. And I find it may be misleading because they also don't put the dates, but you need patience. I've had so many women where I've had consultation. They're like, oh, I've been doing everything. And when I'm like, and I'm not seeing the results, and I'm like, how long have you been doing it? 3 weeks. That is not enough time. It may seem like a long time, but that is not enough time for you to see a drastic difference, especially if you're doing it if you're not doing a quick fix, like if you go on like a fast, or you drastically cut your calories, where of course if your calories are too low, it'll bounce back real quick and more. So you need to be patient. What I found is, realistically, the results most women want, they need consistent work of at least 6 months. So if you've been doing it only 2 to 3 weeks and you're ready to quit, do not throw in the towel yet. Keep at it. And remember, make sure you're using other ways to track your progress than the scale, because there's so many other ways. And I do have a video where I did talk about that. The next reason you may not be seeing results is you're not committed. You're inconsistent. And a lot of times this kind of also goes back to your why isn't clear, or it just could be you didn't properly plan. You didn't understand that this does require work, that you don't just sign up for a program or you don't just eat clean 1 day or work out 2 days and see the results. Consistency is important. And of course, consistency for everyone seems different, right? So, consistency for you could be 2 days a week, it could be 3 days a week, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a matter of what you can realistically do on a regular basis. And to be consistent, you have to make sure you have the proper plans in play, you have to form the habits. Too often, you jump into this, you're gonna start working out, you're gonna start eating clean, but you didn't make the habits. You didn't create small habits, okay? Are you gonna make time to schedule your workout? Are you gonna make time to plan and prepare your meal? Are you gonna make time to make sure that, you're managing your stress? You need to be doing all of these things consistently. And consistently is not once a week you're going to work out. It's not once a week you're going to eat clean. Because remember, where we are, whether we like it or not, it is what we have done consistently. So if you consistently skip your workouts, if you consistently have more processed food than anything else, you're going to see the results. So remember, to be consistent with your workouts, you have to start by making daily habit changes. I'm going to link 2 videos below, one where I do talk about how to create daily habits, and the next one, how to be consistent, because those things are important. And if you are not committed, if you're not consistent, then you're definitely not going to see the results that you want, and you're going to be going in circles like a hamster on a wheel. And one of the reasons you may not be seeing results is you're afraid. I pause after that because I don't think a lot of us realize how afraid we are of actually succeeding at something, how afraid we actually are of being accomplished, hitting those goals. So because you're afraid, you don't even start. Girl, you gotta start to actually see the results. You want to start and you keep saying you're going to, but you haven't actually started because you're afraid, because you're probably thinking, what if I start and actually get the results? What if I get the result and it changes my relationship with my partner, with my colleagues, with my family? So you're afraid, and nothing's wrong with that. But this is where your why for wanting it has to be important. This is why you need to know why you want to do it and make sure it's important to you. So therefore, you're not looking for validation from others, because I'm going to be honest, it may change. And I did talk about that in another video, because when we start changing physically, we also start changing mentally. And, sometimes the people around us, the ones closest to us, oftentimes aren't prepared for that. And we may not be prepared for it because we don't want to lose that relationship. We don't want to hurt their feelings. But it's like, okay, but what about me and what I want? That's important. So those are some of the reasons why you may not be seeing the results. And these are some of the things that when you work with me in my Thrive, Transform, and Glow through perimenopause, where you feel sexy, vivacious, and you get rid of the belly fat along with other things. And what happens is when we start working together, a lot of the other perimenopausal symptoms you may be experiencing definitely dissipate or are completely eradicated. So we start in a few weeks. Make sure to click the link below to schedule your call and come on over. And don't forget to like and subscribe. All right?